And happy Monday rolling out. This is your host, Crystal Jordan. Of course, this is Reality Check joining you on a Monday night, a little earlier than usual, because this is the first Monday of 2021. That's right, guys. We were on the other side of that hump. Relax, breathe it in. We're in 2021, guys. We've made it through 2020. Brand new year, brand new possibilities. And I'm so excited about tonight's guest because she is all about new starts, evolving, changing. I've watched this woman. I've been a fan for years, and I've watched her career evolve and continue to take shape and form. She's gone from an amazing artist that can sing, y'all, the kind of singing that makes you feel it down deep in your feet, to being a talk show host and an advocate and so much more. And she's actually prepared what I'm going to refer to as a visual autobiography that she is sharing with everyone. And we're here to talk to her about it. It's a woman-to-woman conversation. Please help me welcome my guest, the distinguished, the beautiful, the queen, Sylenna Johnson.
Hi.
Hey, beautiful. How are you?
I'm great. And you? How are you?
I'm good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I'm trying to get my life
together. Celebrate the New Year?
I did celebrate the New Year. We did vision boards, my sisters and I. And that's it. We toasted and was like, Happy New Year, girl. And then, and then we was like, we're going to try to do the stuff on our vision board early. And then it was that.
Absolutely. Well, vision boards, I learned about vision boards probably about 7 years ago. And I went to an event actually at Justin's here in Atlanta, did a vision board, and I didn't really, the secret had just come out. I didn't really understand the power of it. And when I tell you that year, probably about 70% of what I put on that vision board manifested in my life. And so every year after that, I have done ones every year. But I want to hear about what you're looking forward to in 2021. But first, I'm going to play a little snippet, just a little one, not too much to get us in trouble on Facebook, but a little snippet from Woman. And then I want to talk about, like I said, this kind of felt like a visual autobiography because it's your words, it's people talking about you, it's talking about your journey, but then it's also so much more for just women out there to be able to relate to. So I want to talk about the inspiration behind that. But let's play a little clip from this first.
That's right. Got to. But I'm a leader, a believer in anything else that is needed. I need it. Yet it's still I'm disrespected, disregarded and rejected. But if you want to go deep, gotta dig 6 feet. Even coal miners gotta play. You gotta make like a woman, but act harder than a man.
Yes. You got to act like a woman. What was the words to that? The actual lyrics to that?
You got to think like a woman, but act harder than a man.
I love it.
Which doesn't mean, you need to go act hard somewhere. It just really means, women, we have to think. First of all, I don't like that whole act like a lady, think like a man. I think that's very chauvinistic. As if we can't think like women and be just as successful. And, statistics are reflecting, honey, that thinking like a woman is getting us further than thinking like a man.
Right.
So I flipped the lyric to, you have to think like a woman and act harder than a man, meaning there will be some backlash for being a strong-minded, strong-willed woman and really moving within the realm of her own mindset and not being influenced by a man or anything like or men in the industry or what we think men want, or running around acting like a man to try to get jobs or try to get things, trying to not even act like a man but having a masculine approach. We can still be feminine, we can still be ladies, and act harder than a man though is basically be ready for when that backlash comes. Be in a predicament mentally where you can be able to have thicker skin to take some of the things that will come from being a strong-willed, strong-minded woman. So, they say men are not as emotional as women, which in some cases is not true. But but for the most part, men are not as emotional as we are. And so That's really what that saying is, and also too, it piggybacks off of the fact that we have to always act like things aren't bothering us.
Right.
So act hard. We have to act hard to be able to keep moving and keep our lives going and keep our jobs and keep our families moving. So it's a lot of symbolism within just the hook itself in that record.
Yeah, I love it. We saw you in a little bit of a different light. Look like you got your Black Panther on.
Right. Had to get with the people.
You had to get with it. Your voice is one of those voices that touches, it reaches in and grabs your soul. Like I remember, I know you've been doing your thing long before the Kanye West, When It All Falls Down, but that song, I remember like, who is that? Who is that? And I love the song, and what he was saying was very powerful, but your voice, that was just such a powerful record, because a lot of people could relate to that. Everybody, all this stuff. And it's so funny because it's so relevant even now. Everyone's trying to look a certain way, but when all that you're doing on the outside, spending all that money, trying to look this way, trying to look that way, when that falls down, what are you going to do? But I remember, following your career then, and now we see you doing music, and now you're doing talk show. You're a talk show host two times over. And then also, I was excited about talking to you now because we know for the new year, a lot of women are constantly trying to get themselves in shape. Not just women, period. Get a new attitude. And I saw you go through an entire just rebranding of yourself physically that looked like it was so much more than just, trying to look a certain way. It looked like it was an overall overhaul. So can you share a little bit about what inspired you to really take that? Because you took it from, you were doing competitions and everything, correct?
Yeah, I did. I wanted to do a competition and I wanted to compete. I still want to compete. I want to do my second show. And I was getting prepared for my second show when COVID hit. My show was supposed to be April 4th. And it hit right when it was like March something. And everything shut down. So then I was like, well, let's move it to June 22nd. And then it was like, no, we still shut down. And I was like, okay, what about August 28th? And it was like, no, girl, we still shut. So I was just like, okay, well, I was training all year, but I was still struggling, mentally, emotionally, just seeing everything that was going on. But initially, I've been up and down in weight my entire life since I left college, because I was an athlete where health and fitness was a natural thing for me. I was always slim, always athletic build. And then when you go to college, it changes because, nobody's making you go to practice or anything like that. So then I became an aerobics instructor in college, and I did intramural sports, and then I would be up and down. And then I realized I didn't know how to eat. And so I started, I met a dietitian in 2006. She changed my life, my mindset. So I started doing better, eating better, lost weight again, up and down, just for other things, stress, the industry, whatever the case may be. And then I wanted to be I got really heavy into hot yoga. And so then I wanted to instruct, I wanted to teach, So then became a hot yoga instructor. And then I was like, again, up and down, lost weight, that whole thing that most women go through. We sharp one year, and then the next year it's like, dang, I got to get back sharp again. So I just wanted to do something that I've always wanted to do, and I figured if I put myself in a predicament to do it, it would help me learn more about my body and more about how to stay in a place of fitness. And it's something that I ended up liking, and want to probably do once or twice a year, So I just went, I just did what I had to do. Then here come COVID. So that jammed us up. So now I'm back, it's a new year. I'm back like, okay, good. 2020 is gone with all their foolishness, even though the foolishness is still going.
It is.
But our minds can change. And so for me, I had a lot of things going last year that kind of stopped me from my focus. But the focus was to enhance the lifestyle that I was already trying to make consistent. That was the reasoning for competing. Let's enhance this lifestyle. And then I always wanted muscles, and I couldn't really get them on my own. So I got a professional, to really build them in me and to change my body. And I just want to keep reinventing myself. I'm 44. And I just want to keep doing that, honey, until I'm
Well,
like,
you do it. I'm
70,
gonna tell you, I love it. I've watched. I am a fan of both yours and Sherry Nicole. And I believe she's like your producer. Whatever, you
Yes.
guys are doing great work, and I love the fact, like you said, of reinventing yourself. I feel like I did an interview on Friday with a young lady that is a she calls herself a fat girl advocate, and we really just talked about how there's such a, especially I feel like within our community, I feel like Black women are so, we are so powerful and we're so amazing, but we're so hard on ourselves when we aren't what we feel like is perfect, right? So I feel like the idea that we are, we when we fall short, it's almost like we beat ourselves up. So I know in order for you to be able to accomplish that, and you looked amazing, you had to be in a mental focus that was unreal, because it's not, it, you know, you can diet and go up and down, but to get yourself to that place to where you're able to compete and you look that way, that takes a lot of just focus and discipline. And I think a lot of times we're so busy in an emotional, you know, beating up on ourselves and having a high when we feel like we're small. And then as women, we congratulate each other when we look like we've lost weight. And then it's like, you know, you gain a few pounds back, no one says anything. So I think you really have to get yourself in a mindset. So I said, I want to ask her about that, because I think this is New Year's and we know everyone's New Year's resolution is going to be, I want to lose weight, or I want to do, you know, get my body together. I want to get my skin together. But what did you tap into to get your mind in a place that you were able to be that disciplined and that focused and able to shut everything else out and really focus on your goals?
Okay, so it's really about character and personality. And those things are individual per person. You know what I'm saying? Um, how I am as a person may not be how the next person is. And so you really, when it comes to dieting and fitness and health, it's really mental and emotional. It's 99% mental and emotional. My trainer can give me 1,000 plans. If I haven't made up in my mind to do them, they're just plans. So for me, the type of person that I am is when I get ready to decide to do something, it's not simple, but because I am I'm a Virgo, I'm a perfectionist. And so when I decide to do something, I do it. Then I'm the type of person that if you tell me I couldn't do it, that also gives me the type of flame to want to do it. Also, if I'm a person that has a lot going, for some reason, I work best under pressure. So when I have a lot going, I'm able to juggle lots of things at the same time. But I think the truest answer to your question is I just got tired of not doing the things that I wanted to do because of what I thought other people would think, or because of what I thought because of what was going on in my life that made me believe that I wouldn't be able to accomplish it. And I just feel like, you can do anything that you want to do in this lifetime. You don't have to be like, well, like I know for a fact I'm not going to bungee jump. That's just something I'm not going to do. Okay. But if I say I want to compete and I really want to do it, and that goes for anything. Like when I wrote my first book, I really wanted to do that. So you have to be ready and really want to do it. And you have to figure out what your why is. And when you know what that why is, you have to stand on it. And it really comes down to, listen, either you do or you don't. Either you will or you won't.
Either you will or you won't. Right.
And
I think that why is
very simple.
Yeah, that why is really important. I want to take a little bit of a turn because, like I said, this piece that you guys have is in two. I watched two parts, and I'm wondering, a lot of this, it was interesting that you would go back to Chicago to do this album, but you also, there's footage of you in South Africa and just embracing the culture and the women there. What did you learn, or what was the difference between sisterhood in South Africa than it is here in the United States? Did you feel a difference, or did you learn something different about just womanhood over there?
Yes, I think, I would say that the women there are, I don't think they're treated as good as we are. And that says a lot, because Black women in America are, in my opinion, are treated very poorly. But I think that it's even worse over there because their own men are raping them, killing them even, you know what I'm saying? Their own culture and their own government is not really providing for them as they should. And then what's so interesting is that, we could always say, oh, well, the white man this and the white man that, we can do that over here and be justified. But mostly everybody who's in power is also Black.
Yeah.
So for them, it's not even cultural. It's just good old fashioned hate and unfairness. You know what I'm saying? But the women the communities, the women are more together than we are. It's interesting. It's almost like because they go through more, they're closer.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they're closer than we are to each other here. And I think too, because we have so much independence as Black women in this country, we can get degrees up the wazoo, honey. We can have 75 jobs. We be running companies, have our own businesses. Because we have so much freedom and we can do so much of that, it keeps us very busy. But because we don't have the resources like everybody else, it keeps us struggling, but struggling alongside each other. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
That's why it is, in my opinion, hard for Black women to work together because we're constantly healing. That's number one. Because it takes longer for Black women to heal because we're constantly being afflicted.
Right.
So
and
it's like you stab me in the arm, right? And now I got to, I'm patching this up, then you stab me in the shoulder. So it's constant healing, constant moving. And so when we work with each other, imagine two people who are trying to heal, trying to trust each other, trying to work together. And we've been doing it on our own without help, fighting like dogs. And then you're gonna tell me I gotta work with somebody else who also is looking at me like, girl, I've been doing this. And then you like, well, girl, I've been doing this. So this is why we struggle. It's not because we don't love each other, because we don't want to work together. It's just because we have a specific type of wounds. We have specific types of wounds that take longer to heal. And it clouds our understanding of each other, because I'm going through the same thing that you're going through, and you're going through the same thing I'm going through, but everybody always thinks that what they're going through is worse than everybody else's.
Yeah. And what you said about
lack of understanding,
struggling alone together, that was deep. That was deep, especially when you think about, the entertainment industry, where there are so many women, so many Black women involved, and yet there's like this disconnect where we're not able to help each other. I do think it's changing. And I think that I see, especially as of late, I see women stepping up and saying, I'm going to be that bridge for another woman. I'm going to do that. But for so long, we were all, everyone was just kind of doing their own fight. And it's like, you guys should all be friends, or you guys should all network. And it's like kind of smiling on the outside, but not necessarily connecting really. Like, hey girl,
exactly.
Okay. It's like,
Yeah. Everybody wants to do it by themselves. And then if you let somebody in, now that person might be trying to control what you're doing because they're used to controlling what they were doing, but you like, girl, because I've been controlling what I've been controlling. So it's just a lack of communication, a lack of peace within, and a lack of patience within with ourselves and with others.
That's very deep, and I think that shows a lot of wisdom and maturity on your part. And you've done reality TV, and now talking to women. I know you guys interview people with Sister Circle, and now again with Fox Soul. What have you learned about just people, period, when you're interviewing people, and even your experience on reality TV? What did you learn that you didn't know before you went into that space?
I learned that there was still some things that I needed to work on with myself that were very important for my progression in this career, and as a mom and a woman and a wife and all of that. Like I found some more bones in the closet that wasn't connected to my body. They was just,
these are mine. I
saw some bones in my shoe. I found a lot of, I just found a lot of junk that wasn't dealt with.
Yeah.
And I was able to, when you are able to identify it, you can work on it. You know what I'm saying? And like, I have a friend who is a victim. You know, you everybody got one of these friends where everybody did something to them. They're the biggest victim in history. And you know, and but rightfully so, people tend to come at them. But I feel like when people come at you all the time, it's probably because you attract that. You know what I'm saying? It's something about you that is attracting that. And so I told her to change her perspective. Go into situations that are difficult like that to see how it makes you react.
Right.
To learn about how you can fix you. Because other people, what other people do is not personal to you. That's their response, and that's personal to them. That is a signature to them. But how you respond to it is what's going to be signature to you.
Right.
So every instance is a learning room. Every instance is online learning. You know what I'm saying? Because or hands-on the job, you know, on the job training. So always be in a mindset, especially if it's a new environment, like, okay, this person over here is really wearing me to the low. But why?
Why?
What
is it that's trigger? What's that trigger? What is triggering me about
me? What's triggering me? Why are they this way? Because that ain't none of my business. Why is it bothering you? And then when you work that out, you could come up with two things. Either there's something in you that, you know, you need to fix and change to adjust to the environment, or this ain't the environment for you, or that person isn't the person for you. You know what I'm saying? But either way, you're gonna get an answer.
You're going to get an answer. Well, if you're just joining us, this is Reality Talk. We're Reality Check, where, you know, we have real conversations. We're in the middle of one right now with Sylenna Johnson. And I'm so excited about this project, The Making of a Woman. And so I mentioned that we know that you stay here in Atlanta, but you went back to Chicago to record this album. What was it about going back home that was important for you to do? As you look at, you mentioned being about 44 years old now. Why was it important to go back home to work on this project?
Well, for one, my producers are there. That's one. And two, the vibe. You know, Chicago is my hometown. Most of my music that I've recorded was out of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Most of it. And it's just a vibe. The city, the people, you know, a lot of times I do miss those people. Those people, you know, Chicago and Chicago folks, that's who I am. That's you know, our lingo, our accents, everything is, you know. And so in order for me to create an album called Woman and talk about the things that make up are the makings of me, I needed to go back to my roots. I needed to be in a place where, you know, I was created, you know.
There's a song, one of the things that's highlighted there is a song, and the producer mentioned, I think Toxic was the producer for this one, mentioned that the song was really about a woman empowering men and making him feel comfortable. And you partnered when it was a duo with Q Parker. We love Q here. Such a great voice and just a great guy, great role model overall. We talk about relationships a lot here. Obviously, that's one of the songs. I'm sure there's many more that deal with relationships, because part of being a woman, of course, is through different love and experiencing that romantic love. Tell us from the perspective of woman about going through love, heartbreak, all that. How does that show up in this project?
It just, you know, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's from the Woman record. It's from the intro. A long time ago, that was a woman who had a man she was, you know, ridiculously in love with. They broke up. It didn't work out. Whatever he did to her, you know, or whatever happened in that relationship is over. But, you know, everybody's got that one man, you know what I'm saying, that was the long time ago, you know, and now it ain't the same, you know. So, you know, long time ago, come inside my house is, you know, being in tune with your sexuality and being okay with it. You know, Freelance Lover is a woman making light of having a man that just like to have a million girlfriends and don't care about nobody's feelings. We all know one. Shiro is a woman who's in love, you know, who's probably been in a marriage and has gone through some things with her husband and is like, I will be the one that steps up in times where you can't. You know, it just takes you through all of the different emotions that we have to be, or that we may come into contact with as we grow as women, as we grow into our womanhood. And I just took different instances of my life and implemented them into this album, so that all women could feel a piece of it at any given song. I remember that. Every single piece of a song is every single song. I wanted a woman to be able to say, "Oh yeah, this is my song right here. This is a song that's me."
This is me. Yeah,
this is me. But in total, just making up the making of a woman. Which is why the deluxe album that's coming out this year is called "Making of a Woman," and it's going to have a couple of new songs on there.
Okay.
So yeah.
Wow. Tyrese made a statement a few days ago when he announced he was going through a divorce. He made a statement that we don't see a lot of successful marriages, and we don't see how to do it. We don't see that replicated. And I thought about that, and I've asked a few people that have come on the show that are, in marriages or have been in marriages. I'm like, why don't we talk about it? As a Black woman, I can have a million conversations about dating and why it's hard to find a good Black man or find a good man, period. But very seldom do we hear elder women talk about what it means to be a wife, right? So I wonder, from your perspective, I don't know, is that something that we don't really celebrate? Like, what do you feel the definition or responsibilities of a wife are? I don't think many of us really have those conversations in a healthy way before we get married, and then definitely not when we're married and going through trouble. So where do you see your perspective on that?
Oh my God. Well, I definitely don't have a full 24 hours to go through that, because it's definitely going to take more than I have. I think I have maybe like 1 or 2 more minutes left before I have to go. But I'll just sum it up and just say, I was telling a friend of mine, again, friends, because we stay having conversations. She's getting ready to date. She's getting ready to date this one guy. I said, what we have to stop doing when we go into relationships is looking for someone to make you happy.
Right.
Stop going into relationships. I need someone to make me happy. Someone who is going to comfort me. Someone who is going to provide for me. You see how that sounds? When I accentuate the certain words, for me, I need this instead, the focus has to be, and I've learned this in my marriage. God, I want someone, or God send someone that I can live my life with. Send someone that I can grow with, or send someone where we can grow together. Meaning because God, when you're in a relationship, it's gonna be 2 people going through their stuff at the same time together.
At the same time.
So that means you're going to have to endure someone, and they're going to have to endure you. So the prayer should be, God, send the person that is my I'm the key, he's the lock, basically. You know what I'm saying? Or he's the key and I'm the lock. But basically, send someone where we can spend our life together. Send someone where we can live together with. Someone that I can share with. Someone where it's not. So we have to get out of our language. I need to be happy. I need to be. All of those things are things that you can do for yourself.
Right.
What we really should be wanting is a helpmeet. What we really should be wanting is a companion. I can't think of the words right now. I just said this the other day, and it was
that's perfect. That going through it together. That's absolutely perfect.
It's almost like send me a friend. It's almost like that. But it is
like send me a best friend for life. Send me a best friend for life. Right.
Right. But it's not even send me. It's put me in a predicament where I can spend my life with someone. You see how I took all the I's and me's out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Put us in a predicament. Put us in a predicament where we can spend. If we changed all the I's and me's to we's and us,
there we go. There we go.
But I do have to go. Yes.
I know. Thank you so much for today. I would just real quickly let people know where they can. I know they can go to YouTube and find The Making of a Woman there on Fox. So let people know where to find the music and I guess this is coming up. You're releasing it again as a deluxe in 2021.
Yeah,
Awesome.
2021. We don't have the date yet. It's called Making of a Woman. You can catch the docuseries Making of a Woman. Well, it's a documentary, a 4-part documentary. There's a 3 and a 4 coming.
Oh,
One
nice.
and two. 1 and 2 is on Fox Soul right now. You can get it on the Fox Soul YouTube page or all Fox Soul affiliated channels and network within the network. And the album is out everywhere. It's called Woman. One word, Woman. It's still out. It's still going. It's still streaming. So make sure you stream that and go to my Facebook page, Sylenna Johnson Live, actually in about 10 minutes because I have Music Mondays and and then Cocktails with the Queens right after that at 9 p.m. on Fox Soul, Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern. And also, all things Sylenna Johnson, just follow me on Instagram at Sylenna Johnson, Facebook, Sylenna Johnson Official, and Twitter, Sylenna_Johnson.
Thank you. And congratulations on everything you have going on, Sylenna. We wish you much success. And we definitely will check out parts 3 and 4 of The Making of a Woman. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you too.
Bye.
All right. All right. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed that conversation. What a powerhouse voice and what wisdom Sylenna Johnson dropped some jewels today on just womanhood and how we need to work harder to be able to actually partner with each other as opposed to working hard alone. And I love that advice that she had for marriage and relationships. Beautiful voice, beautiful woman, beautiful spirit. Thanks so much to her and her team for making tonight happen. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you I will see you on Friday for our Ready to Love recap. You know, the new year is full of love and surprises. If you weren't watching this past week, Ready to Love had lots and lots of twists and turns this past Friday. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys Friday at 10 p.m. right after Ready to Love. And of course, I'll be back next Monday with more Reality Check. This has been your host, Crystal Jordan. Happy New Year. It's 2021. I will see you guys on the flip side.